So, I want to talk about building karma, okay? And let me just say this. The audience out there that I am trying to reach, you know who you are, okay? There's a reason why you will come to my YouTube channel, because there's forces that are drawing you in to come and listen to certain types of videos. Okay, my videos, my energy, my frequency, my voice is not for everybody. Those of you out there that are drawn to me are going to know who you are. Because anything I have to say or do is you're going to take an interest in. Because there's a reason why you're drawn to my videos. There's a reason why some of you out there have been followers of mine for years. And there's a reason for everything. So here's my advice. Okay, my videos are not for everybody. There is a certain audience that I am trying to reach. Those people probably fall in the FBA range. Okay. And some of them might be Aboriginals, some of them are, but most of the audience that my videos are geared for, and rooted for and made for are for people of color. Now, if you're not a person of color and you still take interest in my videos and they interest you, you're more than welcome to continue listening. But in actual reality, my videos are really geared for my own people, okay, which would be foundational Black Americans or African American people, okay, and even some of them are not really channeled into spiritualism. That's just not how they roll. So this might not be for them. They know that if it isn't for them, most of them will respectfully leave after listening to one of my videos and they won't return. Okay? But to leave rude comments down in my comment section can be very dangerous. Okay? And one of the reasons why I say this to you guys is because I'm a very, very protected person here on this planet. I've been contacted by these extraterrestrial beings in dreams several times, spoken to through the mind by these beings on a daily basis. Okay, just strange, weird things that have happened within my life let me know that I am not alone here. Okay, a lot of the times when I'm out in public, if I'm not with a family member, a lot of the times I'm rolling by myself. Okay, and one of the reasons for that is because I have a very, very high frequency. Okay, most people cannot relate to me at all. I'm just not. There are some people that I can relate to very well. And again, the people that I relate to are those that are drawn to me. Okay, nothing can pull them away from me. They know who they are. They're drawn for certain reasons. Some of them may not be African American. Okay, but if they are into spiritualism, if they are into the things that I talk about, some of them may be drawn to me. But even still, there are certain things that I talk about that people that are not of color on this channel are not going to be able to relate to. Okay. But they can still listen in if it captures their interest. They're more than welcome to listen in. Just do not leave rude comments in my comment section, because there's watchers out there. These beings watch everything. Okay, and even though you might not have direct contact with me, they know who you are, these spiritual beings. Okay, and they will do things. They will create problems in your life just for, messing around with their people. It's just not a good thing to do. So if my videos do not interest you, then respectfully leave and don't come back. Okay, that's all you have to do. But like I said, to leave comments down in my comment section and to argue with me or to try to harm me in any kind of way, I am not alone. Okay, and it can, like I said, it can be very dangerous to disrespectfully approach me or to argue with me or anything like that. It's just not in your best interest, because I am not working alone. Okay, now with that being said, I want to talk to my followers out there about karma and how to build karma. Okay, and this is for people of the African diaspora. Okay, the African American diaspora and those that are within the African diaspora. Now, one thing that I can say is that this karma building is very effective. What you put out into the universe does have a way of reaching itself back to you, particularly when you're in a time of need. And so you might do very good deeds for people, and you might think, well, I'm putting it out there, but I'm not really getting it back. See, the thing of it is that you're going to get a lot of that back. It builds up and it builds up, and then sometimes it releases itself just whenever you need it, because you only have so many points. It's like a point system. Kind of like where we are financially headed today, kind of like towards a monetary point system. Karma works the same way in the spirit world. Okay, so let's say you do 3 or 4 good deeds, and what I mean by that is, let's just say you're driving your car and you're out on the road and you come up to an intersection and there's a homeless person out there. And that homeless person is a person of your community. Maybe they're a person that's not of your community. But you're sitting at this red light. You have a couple of dollars that are near that you can reach and grab and give to this guy before the light changes green. Okay? When you do stuff like that, we have watchers in this universe that see a lot of this stuff, and this stuff is recorded. So when you do good deeds like that at a time, there's going to come a time in your life that you're going to need something out of your karma will, out of the will of karma. And it'll come up when you need it most. Okay? It is not always released when you need it, but sometimes it'll save itself up to the times when you need it most, because you're really not dishing out a whole lot of, good deeds. And so sometimes the good deeds that you do dish out add up until you are in a desperate time of need, and then it'll come through. That's how karma works. So one of the ways to build karma is when you're out there and you see, you come to these intersections and you see a person out there that holding up a sign. You got a couple of extra dollars, give that person what you got. Give them what you can afford. If you have an extra $5, hand it over. Okay? Don't do it just to build karma. Keep that in mind, that it does build up, but do it kind of because that's the person that you want to become. That's the person that you are. Do it out of your heart. Do it as a way of saying, if I was out there, I would want someone to give me $5. If you pull up at a stoplight, I would hope that somebody would give me $5 so I can take that money and then go get a bag of chips. It's not much, but every little thing helps. Every little thing counts when somebody is hungry. Okay. Just, if you're walking out and you come to a door and you see someone is having a hard time, or someone may need you to help open up a door because their hands might be full, go out of your way to open that door for that person. Just little bitty things that you think would not matter. If you're in a grocery store, there's only one cart left. Let that older senior woman have the grocery cart over you. If someone smiles at you, smile back. Okay? With a much friendlier smile. If you see someone crying, ask them, is everything okay? Show a little concern. It's the little things that really add up, that help. Because when you're in a time of need, when you think that nothing is going to come around to help you, sometimes you may be at your last straw. You might end up in the hospital one day with very bad stomach cramps or something like that. You have to get some tests done. Your main concern is, I've been eating a bunch of junk food for several years. I'm praying that those test results don't come back in a negative way. Okay? Maybe those test results might come back positive with nothing wrong. Okay? Or maybe you might get an STD, or you're scared you might have some type of uncurable disease. Maybe that test result will come back negative. Okay? All of that is karma. Okay? So the smallest things that you do, they add up. Try to build karma by being nice to your people. Say hi when you walk past somebody of your own race. Say hi. You don't have to do it to everyone, but just do it to someone that you normally wouldn't do it to. Just say hi. How are you? And keep walking. Or if somebody drops something, pick it up. It's like I said, it's the small things that add up to some of the biggest numbers that you would never even imagine. Okay? And that one time that you need your karma points the most, when them test results come back, or maybe your dog gets, struck by a car and you take him in and you're hoping that he's going to make it, or that you're hoping he's going to, that your insurance is going to work. your pet insurance, it'll come through, stuff like that at a time when you really need your karma points the most is a lot of the times when they'll come through. Okay, when you do things to people, when you deliberately say things to people that you know that they're going to take offense to, that subtracts from your karma. When you deliberately get online and start down talking people, or you purposely try and hurt their feelings, or you disagree with something that they say, so you're constantly arguing instead of just saying whatever you have to say and leave it at that, because you do have a right to give your opinion, but to sit there and argue and argue and argue until it gets to a point where there's a shouting match and there's curse words involved, that type of stuff really, really pulls from your karma points. Okay? So, one of the ways that I started learning about how people build karma is there were 2 times in my life that I went out to eat. And during these times when I went out, it was 2 times that I went out to eat. And one time I went out to eat, I was by myself, because I do that periodically. I'll go out to eat sometimes by myself just to treat myself and have a nice meal without having to talk or anything like that. You just go and treat yourself and go home. There was one time I was out. I was by myself, dining by myself. And I went in, got my food, sat down, ate it, got up to go and pay for it. And the lady at the cashier register, she says, I put my ticket up on the counter, and she says, "Ma'am, somebody has already paid that bill for you." And I said, "Who?" And she said, "It was a guy. He's no longer here. He just paid your bill for you and left." And I said, did he say that he knew me or why he paid the bill? And she said, "No. He just paid the bill for you and left." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I got that meal free. That happened twice to me in the same state. Okay. And I would come home and think to myself, what a nice thing to do for someone. This has happened to me twice in my life where I have went out to a restaurant by myself, eating alone by myself. Twice, some guy has paid for my meal anonymously. Didn't want me to know who they were. They just pointed me out, paid for it, and left. Those are called acts of kindness. Okay? And I couldn't help to myself after thinking, who could have done that? Why would they do it? And I thought to myself, they must be trying to build karma. Because doing stuff for people that you don't know is a way to build karma. Doing nice things for people that you don't know, that you don't have anything to do with. Sometimes you might know them. Okay, but just doing things for people out of the act of kindness, you build up a massive amount of karma. And then when you're in a time of need, that karma releases itself. Okay? So that's how you build karma. I'm not telling you to do that, but it wouldn't hurt if you see, like some of the men out there, if you see a woman in a restaurant, don't let her know who you are. And she's dining alone, or she's dining with a kid or 2, and these kids are small kids. Pick up the tab and anonymously and pay for it, walk out. Because there's going to come a time in your life where you're going to need something, and it's going to magically appear. Okay? Something's going to happen where that favor is going to come back at the least unexpected time. And that's how you build karma. All right? So that's what I want you guys out there to think about what I said. And just, every day do something nice for someone. If, just even little tiny things like holding the door for someone, walking up past them to deliberately open the door for them. Just little bitty things. Someone might drop something on the floor. You rush to go and pick it up. Or compliment someone on their clothes. Tell a girl that her nails look nice. Or tell a man that, hey, that's a nice looking haircut. Just small little things that you do that you think doesn't matter starts adding up in your karmic will. All right? And then when you need those points at a time where you're least expecting anything to come through, it comes through. Thanks so much for listening. I hope this has helped some of you out there, and I will talk to you in another later video. Thank you.